Let's get into it. Thanks you guys for showing up. So this is how to increase your show rate to 50 to 70%. So some of this stuff we'll go over. Some of it you're probably already doing, but I think some of it you're not. So you should pick up some good nuggets because there's some stuff that we've been working on for the couple of years. This is just, that ongoing problem that we're always trying to get better at. And you can get tons of leads, right? You can get tons of appointments, but if they're not showing up, then it doesn't really matter. So this is a pretty important step to your sales funnel, your marketing funnel. And I'll give you a quick background. So I am married. I'm a dad. I have a 2.5-year-old girl, and I have another girl that is due. It says next month. She's due tomorrow. So wish me luck on that. Say a prayer if you want to say a prayer. Another girl. So I'm surrounded by girls so far. I've been running ads and setting up automations and things for gyms and martial arts schools since 2017. I used to work in corporate for a franchisor as well. It's called ISI Elite Training. It was a group fitness boot camp style gym. And so I helped them open the first 10 franchises and did all the marketing for all the franchises and the corporate locations. So I was there for a couple of years. And then in 2021, left and have been doing this business since then. We still work with a lot of those guys. We also were preferred vendor for them, Premier Martial Arts, CKO Kickboxing, Zebra Robotics. It's like a school that teaches kids how to build robots and stuff. Very similar, we're targeting parents, try to get kids in. At this point, we've helped over 400 gyms and dojos get more people. We try to help you get 15 to 30 or more people with your digital marketing. And we have plenty of Facebook and Google reviews if you want to check it out. So the first thing with this, as far as getting people to show up, is unfortunately not everybody is going to show up, but we want to try to get as close as we can, right? As close as we can, 50 or more, hopefully up to 70%. And it just helps a little to expect that not every single person is going to show up no matter what. This is a breakdown of the no-show rate for doctor's offices. So even oncology, they have a 25% no-show rate. So don't beat yourself up that people aren't showing up to your business, because there's people with cancer who don't even show up to their cancer doctor appointment. You know what I mean? But this is just showing you, like, this happens in all the industries. For whatever reason, not everybody shows up. However, we want to get there as close as possible. And your main goal when you're thinking about getting people to show up is you want to make them feel bad for not showing up. And so there's ways to do this with the verbiage in your appointment reminders and doing things to just entice them more, keep them more excited, get in front of them more. I'll show you these things. But the main thing is we want to make them feel bad for not showing up. The first step to getting people to show up is a good offer. So it needs to be good enough for people to want to come in and, take up the offer, right? If it's just a free consultation, then typically the show rate's going to be low because it's just a free consultation. That they pretty much know that they're signing up for a sales appointment. But if it's like a challenge, summer special, free week pass, even a free lesson or free workout, people are going to want to take up that offer, right? So just think about that. You want to make sure it's enticing. You want to put yourself in their shoes. If you're scrolling through Facebook or something and you see something pop up, does that look like something that you would want to, take advantage of and take up on? So the first step is a good offer. The second step is following up as fast as possible. So this was done with Harvard Business School or MIT, I can't remember, but it's a pretty popular stat that's been going around lately, and I think it's very true. Basically, if you don't follow up within the first 5 minutes, the odds of booking that lead for their intro goes down 400%. And that's versus 10 minutes. So literally, if you don't have at least some type of initial automation or something following up within 5 minutes, you're going to be wasting a lot of money. So you definitely want steps in place. You definitely want some type of automation, at least at first, because you might have leads that come in at 10 o'clock at night, 2 in the morning, and you're just not there to follow up with them. So something in place to follow up as quickly as possible. Everybody's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. So this is something, it literally, you might remember a couple of years ago, they would say, oh, follow up with the lead within 30 minutes. And it just keeps shrinking. Now they're saying 5 minutes. And it's just going to keep shrinking because they were interested for that quick second. They saw your advertisement, they clicked on it, they're interested. And then a few minutes later, they get in a fight with their spouse, or the dog peed on the couch or something, and they're completely out of that state of mind now. They're not even thinking about you anymore. So you have to get to them and get that next step solidified. The next step would be usually, booking an appointment, something like that. So can't stress that enough. Follow up as fast as possible. Third step is you want to schedule them in as fast as possible. So with your scheduling system, I typically don't give a date range more than 7 days. Ideally, you want them to schedule within 2 or 3 days. The further out the person's booked, the higher the no-show rate. So, if a lead comes in and you can get them scheduled even that night or the next day, that increases your show rate dramatically. When people self-book, I usually put the date range for 7 days because, if they're booking themselves, I want to make sure that they have at least a couple more options in case they're, on vacation or they're traveling for a couple of days. I want to make sure that there's at least time to get them booked. Something else you can do is if a person did self-book, and when I say self-book, I mean they were on your website or your ad, and then there was a link that allowed them to book. If you see them booking like a week or 2 out, you can call them. Don't be afraid to call them and say, hey, I don't know if you noticed, but we have this Tuesday instead of next Tuesday. If you want to come in sooner, we have a spot open. And it's just going to qualify the lead a little more. And if they say yes, you're going to have a much better chance of getting them to show up. The other thing you can do, if you can do at least 2 bookings per slot, this helps because if 2 people book a spot and one person doesn't show up, the other person is most likely going to be there. And you are going to have those occasions where both of them show up and you might have to scramble a little bit. But in my opinion, it's better than sitting there twiddling your thumbs, waiting for nobody to show up, if that makes sense. And at the end, I'll let you guys ask some questions. I just want to provide this information first for you. But yeah, the date range, like I said, you're trying to schedule them within 7 days or sooner. If you can, I would at least do 2 bookings per slot. I call these humanized appointment reminders. And at the end, I'll show you how to get these slides so you can completely copy this if you want. But whenever you're coming up with appointment reminders, you go into your CRM, right? Go into your high level Spark, My Studio, whatever, wherever you set up your appointment reminders, you want to think, how am I going to make this person feel bad, right? For not showing up. I want them to be completely bought in. And I want it to look like I'm picking up my phone and texting this person. I don't want it to look like this. Like we all get these reminders for the dentist and the doctor and stuff like this. Rachel, this is a reminder that your teeth cleaning appointment is Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Like nobody, it might work for a doctor. It's not going to work for a gym or a martial arts school. It's just too boring. They're not emotionally bought in. So this is an example of one day before the appointment. But Christy, it's John. I'm getting prepped for our meeting tomorrow. Can't wait to meet you. We have a free uniform waiting for you. So this verbiage, I'm getting prepped for our meeting tomorrow. That's going to get them a little more emotionally bought in. So they're saying, oh, okay, this person is getting ready for me. There's a person waiting on me, so I need to make sure I'm going. And then 2 hours before the appointment, we put on my way to meet you for 5:30. So this almost always gets a response, which is a good thing. So when somebody reads on my way to meet you, they're like, oh crap, this person is going to their business. They're going to be waiting on me. I at least need to reschedule. So really good verbiage. Like I said, we've been tweaking this for the last couple of years, trying to get it as good as we can. And this one, since we've been doing this one, we almost always get a response, which is good because they're either going to show up or they're going to reschedule to a time that does actually work. Here's some info to make it easy to find us. Our address, we put in the Google Map link. So if you're not doing this, go ahead and do it. It's just an extra thing that makes it easy for people to find you. These people are kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? They don't necessarily know who you are yet. They haven't experienced you yet. So you want to make things as easy as possible. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, the Google Map link, they click it, pops up on their phone, takes them right to your business. Also put in the differentiator, or if you have maybe a parking situation that's a little different, explain that. You want it to be as easy as possible. If you got meter parking in the front or wherever, just explain it. This person says across the street from Planet Wings next to the mobile station. Stuff like that goes a long way. A bonus, if you have a what to expect video, this is really good because it helps let people's guard down a little bit. They know what to expect, makes them a little less nervous. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to hire, a videographer and make this polished, perfect video. You could literally pull out your phone, do a selfie video. Hey, Susan, we can't wait to see you when you come in. Hey, there's parking out here in the front. You're going to come in. We're going to suit up your kid for a, karate uniform, whatever you typically do for that first meeting. If you explain that, it goes a long way. It makes people feel very comfortable. This is called a show offer. So you have your main offer, which is the lead magnet, right? To get people to come in, free week pass, 6-week challenge, stuff like that. The show offer is a little extra something that they were not expecting in your follow-up sequence. So you saw the karate uniform one. I don't expect everybody to give a uniform because that's at least $40, $50 probably. But some people do t-shirts. Some people do in-body scans. I have a guy that, this is Tin Hands Fitness in Philly. He gives a free Red Bull. Literally anything. It's because they weren't expecting it, right? So it's just a little extra something to get them excited. If you do in-body scans or eVolt scans, send a picture of a person standing on it, smiling. Because if you just text, hey, you're going to get a free in-body scan, the general public doesn't really know what that is. So if you send a picture, they'll be like, oh, okay, cool. And then you can put monetary value. Hey, it's usually $50 for a scan, stuff like that. It doesn't look like much, but this helps. Again, all these little things work together to increase your show rate and keep people excited. 6th step is omnipresence. So being in front of them and getting a hold of them everywhere. So this stuff is the not technically automated part. This is some manual stuff. Most of these things we can automate. If you take a little time to do these extra things, it's going to help. So call to confirm. And what you do is you call and they're not going to answer because nobody answers an unknown number, right? So you call twice in a row and then you leave a voicemail. So you call once, 99% of the time they're not going to answer. Instantly call again. They usually maybe 50% of the time pick up that time because most spam people aren't calling twice in a row like that. So they kind of, okay, who's trying to call me right now? So they're more likely to answer. If they don't answer, leave a voicemail. I add every lead on Facebook. I encourage our clients to do it too. If I get a lead, I'll add them on Facebook. When they book an appointment, I go, hey, this is me, by the way. I literally did this, and this is a client. And so when I do things like this, it even helps me get people to show up, right? So add them on Facebook, add them on Instagram. If they book an appointment, send them a reminder through their DM too, so you're everywhere, right? They're seeing you everywhere. Again, they're going to feel bad for not showing up when you do these things. If you create a Facebook group, this goes a long way. You have your members in there and you have your leads in there. So you add the person on Facebook and then you add them into your Facebook group. And what happens is the lead maybe hasn't booked yet, but they start seeing all this social proof and these people having a good time in your Facebook group, and then they book. Or they book the appointment, you add them in the Facebook group, and then that just increases the show rate because they're coming in here, they're seeing people having, a good workout, a good karate session, stuff like that. Like this person has a sign that says, I crushed my first workout. This person said they just completed 800 sessions. Like stuff like this is great because we're just in front of them even more. Again, this stuff is kind of the manual stuff, but goes a long way. This is a bonus step. So if you have testimonials, weight loss testimonials, parent testimonials for martial arts, stuff like that, what you can do is you can go into Facebook and you create a new audience. And the event's called Schedule. So it's people who scheduled an appointment. And audience retention can be 7 to 14 days. And what happens is they saw your ad, they clicked on it, they opted in, and they booked an appointment. And then they're instantly put into this audience on Facebook where they start seeing testimonials from parents. And so this is called the indoctrination audience. And you can throw $1 a day at it because the audience is going to be really small. It doesn't need much money. But they booked an appointment, and let's say it's booked 5 days out, right? And then they go to check their Facebook again, and then now they start seeing testimonials of people. You can also throw in that what to expect video if you want. So now they can't stop thinking about you because every time they get on Facebook or Instagram, they're seeing testimonials of your business pop up. They're seeing what to expect video, stuff like that. So that's what I call the indoctrination audience. It's just a bonus step, but a little something extra you can throw in. And yeah, tie all those together. I can answer questions now as well, but if you scan this QR code, this will send you the slides if you want the slides, and that way you can kind of R&D, rip off and duplicate what I'm doing. It might help you out. And other than that, yeah, does anybody have any questions for me?